Good evening, San Diego. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis, and thank you for tuning in for your CBS 8 Plus weather update. Santa Ana winds back in the forecast. They started to pick up earlier this afternoon, and we're having those winds pick up in the backcountry now, but it's going to spread a little bit more west of the mountains by tomorrow, impacting more of the inland valleys, also drying us out in the forecast for the next couple of afternoons. We are also looking at warmer than usual temperatures. The peak of the heat looks to be for tomorrow, but still holding on to warmer than usual temperatures at least by Thursday, and then more of an onshore push in our forecast over the weekend. That's going to bring temperatures down even more, and that's going to put us right back into that seasonal range over the weekend and into the start of next week. When we look at our highs for today, we started to feel a little bit of warmth out there. We're back into those upper 70s east of the 15. You had Escondido at 79 degrees, the same for Valley Center as well as for Ramona, 78 degrees today for El Cajon. You still had the 60s right along the North County coastline as well as 70 degrees for Oceanside, and you had 60s for daytime highs today. That was for Chula Vista as well for downtown. You have this area of high pressure that has moved over northern Nevada behind recent cold fronts. And so we're dealing with a tight pressure gradient is what we call it. And that's basically when you have an area of low pressure and also an area of high pressure close to each other. So that creates these stronger winds. And so they're going to be out of the northeast. Starting to pick up, as mentioned, that happened earlier today, but they will peak overnight all the way through tomorrow morning. That leads to the drier air that we're going to feel down to about 10 to 15% for relative humidity values, especially across inland areas into the next couple of afternoons. Now, this does not look to be a strong wind event for us here locally. Now, we have some fire weather concerns as well as some wind alerts that have been issued well towards the north of us, impacting across Ventura County as well as for LA County. But for us, this is going to be classified as a weak to moderate Santa Ana wind event, and we are actually going to be having the weakest winds across Southern California when you compare it to areas like San Bernardino County mountains and Santa Ana mountains. That's where gusts are going to be upwards of about 50 miles per hour. We could see some isolated gusts up to about 40 miles per hour. But most of our wind gusts are going to be in the 20s and 30s, and so that's going to lead to the drier conditions. Also, the temperatures warming up west of the mountains, so temperatures will be on an increase, and also those elevated fire weather concerns for tomorrow. So you're seeing around midnight, as mentioned, that's also when those wind speeds are going to start to pick up. You have right along the coastal mountain slopes some elevated fire weather concerns. We're not talking about high concerns, but still they are going to be present, and then they'll start to break away as we go into Thursday, and onshore flow is going to also pick up on Thursday too. So for your overnight lows, widespread 50s in the forecast. 55 degrees for Julian, 50 degrees for Escondido, 55 for Poway, also in the 50s for downtown as well as for Chula Vista and for La Mesa. You have 48 degrees for El Cajon. A big swing with our temperatures. We're not talking about a marine layer, so that's going to allow our temperatures to quickly warm up for our Wednesday. You have the 80s. That's going to be for Escondido, for Fallbrook, for Valley Center, 81 degrees expected tomorrow for El Cajon. These are above seasonal temperatures. And across the inland valleys, when you're talking about these 80s, that puts you about 20 degrees above seasonal for this time of the year. Also in the 70s right along the coast, and you also have 72 degrees for downtown, 76 degrees tomorrow for Chula Vista. Your surf forecast about 2 to 4 feet and a moderate risk of rip currents at our local beaches. So for the next 7 days for the coast, you have the 70s as I showed you for tomorrow, but then you're right back into those 60s. Now the Santa Ana winds will continue into early Thursday morning, but as the day goes, that's when things are shifting a little bit more onshore. So that allows more cloud cover, that allows temperatures to start to cool a little bit more, going from 73 degrees for the coast tomorrow with nothing but sunshine to seeing some passing clouds out there, especially in the morning hours with the marine layer reestablishing itself and then sticking around all the way into the weekend and start of next week with more clouds. You're back into the 60s by Thursday. You hold on to those 60s for the coast all the way until Christmas Eve. For the inland valleys, you have the low 80s for tomorrow, but you're back into the upper 70s, and that will be on Thursday. Then you're looking at those low 70s for this weekend and also return to the upper 60s for daytime highs by Christmas Eve. For the mountains, you have those 60s, and they're not really going anywhere. It's just going to be a variety when it comes to the range for those 60s. So around 68 degrees for the next few days, and then you're back to the low 60s, and that will be on Christmas Eve for the mountains. Across the desert, pretty consistent with the low 80s, at least through Friday. A little bit of a minor slip. As mentioned, area of low pressure reinforcing that marine layer, bringing some cooler air in. And so that allows temperatures to go right back into the upper 70s by Saturday, but then they will rebound right back into those low 80s for the desert on Sunday and Monday, and then 77 degrees expected with passing clouds out there by Christmas Eve. I hope you have a great night, and thanks for tuning in.